Hi, this is Steve Renner from No Wake Marine, lead technician, back again to talk about getting your boat launched off the trailer and in the water and ready to go for the spring. So the first thing we want to talk about is we want to make sure the batteries are charged. And then after the batteries are charged, we want to make sure we connect the cables to them if they're disconnected and make sure those connections are tight. In today's new technology boats, with all the instrumentation and everything, those good connections are very important. So the second thing we want to talk about is your safety items. You need to make sure all your lights work. Your nav, your anchor, your interior lights, they're all right. Your horn. Make sure your fire extinguisher is good and charged. The third thing we want to talk about is checking your fluids. You always want to check your fluids before you start your boat, every trip, and especially in the spring. Check your engine, your V-drive, and your transmission. So the fourth thing we'd like to talk about is we'd like to start the engine, let it run for 10-15 minutes if you have a hose available. If you don't have a hose available, we just usually start it for about 5 to 10 seconds. Make sure the engine's going to start, make sure you see the oil pressure come up. So we had good oil pressure and the batteries were charging. So we're ready to head to the lake. So the fifth thing we'd like to talk about is tires. Tires are very important. Hopefully they get us to our destination safely. We need to make sure the air pressure in the tires is up to where it should be, up to the spec on the tire, and that your tread does not have any uneven wear. Also, before you leave for the lake, make sure you check your lug nut torque. So the last two things we're going to talk about, which is 6 and 7, we want to talk about your brakes and your lights. Your brakes, we want to make sure that your fluid is on the little dipstick here. And then once it's hooked up to your vehicle, if you leave the lights unhooked and just back up slightly, usually that'll tell you if your brakes are working or not. Lastly, make sure your lights are plugged in and check all the lights on your trailer and check your turn signals and your brake lights. So thanks for watching the first part of our series. Please come back and watch the second one where we're going to give tips and tricks at the boat ramp for our series. Get you off to a good spring.